and have less energy once they got past their prime middle age time period. But it's really a common thing and much more common than people think.
Yeah, Michael, you better get that Mary Stanton book. They discuss things. Yeah, we or oh, to everybody, anytime you see, in a library, I mean, in a bookstore or something, there are all sorts of different books on physiognomy, mostly from like 1850 to 1930, 35. Yeah.
So I
All right.
was asking, are you saying any lines on the mid neck are thyroid?
No, no, they're right above and below. They're right there. They're above and below the thyroid. Yeah. Once
And
you
that's,
see them,
I'm
you'll know.
sorry, I was going to say that's caused generally because this thyroid is swollen.
Yep. Right.
And right, the thyroid is swollen or enlarged and is creating creases in the neck.
Yeah. And obvious as this is, it actually was Margie Flint who first discovered that and told us all about it to start looking for that. So onward.
The ovary points, what if the red and sort of what if they are red and sort of chapped or almost eczema looking?
Yeah, okay, so just the normal is like a acneiform sore, I call it. They look like a sore, a cross between acne and sore. If it's a little, it can be a little bluish or it can be a little wrinkled, fine wrinkles, in which case you know that it's malnourished or maybe even drying up and post fertility, but you might have a chance to restore that. Blue would be poor circulation, but I hadn't seen what was meant flaky, dry. Well, dry. Yeah,
Dry. Yeah, I would say oil. Need some good um
yeah.
essential oils like some omega-3s and evening primrose oil to moisten up the reproductive area.
Plus
To
always
give them the oils they need to be healthy.
plus the burdock for the fixed oils.
Right.
Next.
Michael is asking, on what things you deem reversible, reversible versus not? Hair that increasingly grows from the ear holes and other cases where hair is increasingly growing along the edges of the ear or hair growing on forehead or temple area of a male. Can things be done to stop that process once it is in motion? Women with PCOS, I believe the answer is yes. Less sure about males. What herbs may prevent these hair growth patterns from being lifelong?
I don't know about the ears. I got hairs in my ears. Um,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, I don't know about that. And so for PCOS, it is excess testosterone. And excessive testosterone does not make you sexier necessarily. It starts getting excess. It's a stress on your liver, which makes you angry, which is like nobody'd want to sleep with you if you were like too stressed out from being excess testosterone. Excess testosterone is kind of like some Wall Street broker that's like totally an asshole and nobody, and yeah, it's just so both deficiency and excess are not that good. So, and then we've talked about it. Well, lettuce, but there might be something different here. Um,
Mm.
dandelion, even white horehound on the remote. Also, there's a bunch of different things that are possible. Anything for the liver might help there. It's
Yeah,
probably,
I'm also going to add in that in men, it tends to happen after middle age when the prostate begins to enlarge a little bit, and you've got the testosterone opposing the normal testosterone. So sometimes working on the prostate, even if the guy might be in the 60s and is not showing like major prostate issues, but starting to get the hairs, I would say you could work on the prostate with some like red clover, red root, sarsaparilla is good for that, to create healthy opposing testosterone as opposed to the dihydrotestosterone.
and burdock root again.
And burdock, always burdock, right?
Yeah, it's probably, I don't think the prostate's related to the ear. The
Well,
ear,
I think it's related to kind of like what testosterone is the body running on, or what is like. So I would ask if it was my client, I would ask, do you have Are you having any kind of like sexual, or do you have a sex drive? How about that? Do you have a sex drive? And so then you can kind of go from there.
I have a question into that. What about the kind of, it's coming and going in the popularity about the pine pollen extract?
Yeah.
And I'm not sure which level of testosterone. And then you've got things like even stronger than blueberry, huckleberry, keeping the prostate happy.
Yeah.
Right,
And-
exactly, exactly. And I would say with pine, even pine bark has some testosterone. I mean, the studies have shown pine bark is useful too. You don't have to like
Yeah.
collect all that tiny pine pollen, which is a pain in the butt to collect.
Yeah, right.
One that the Scotch
Yeah.
pine put out more. I've collected, yes, it's fun, you get covered. But I mean, some people really like that pine pollen extract and feel it lifts up their I mean, men in particular lifts up
Yeah.
their because precursor, it's not actually testosterone, but
Right, right. But it does really work. Well, like I say, pine bark will do the same thing with about half the work.
Ha ha ha. Yeah, it's hard to gather. Yeah, you were mentioning huckleberry. Do you want to talk about it? Just because Donna has some amazing huckleberry out here. And have you used that for prostate or any of that
well,
stuff?
I tend to, nobody wants to talk to, or men don't want to sometimes.
Yeah.
And because of my audience from running a farmer's market, I get this eclectic group of people come through, and sometimes I get to talking, but men will just suddenly pop up with, you got anything for prostate? And I look, it's huckleberry